Hello and welcome to another Ask Cheeky. I'm Isaiah Henkel with Cheeky Scientist. Watch the entire video because there are two questions you're not asking after you get a job offer. And if you forget to ask them right away, if you move right on to negotiating, you're missing out. And you could miss out on up to $10,000, right? Or 10,000 euros, about 10% of whatever that initial offer is. You can get a 10% increase. That's right, 10% increase in your salary by asking these two questions correctly and at the exact right time. Okay, so what are they? I'm going to tell you in a second, but I want to give a shout out to Ben Jacobson, who asked this question, right? What should I ask after getting a job offer? Excellent question. What should I ask? Most people get a job offer and they think, okay, now I got to come back with a counter offer or just accept the offer. A lot of things start to go wrong because as PhDs, most of the time, especially if it's our first job in industry, we've never seen that many zeros before. We're like, wow, finally somebody's offering me what I'm worth. Probably 2 to 3 times as much as I was getting as a postdoc, or 5, 6, 7 times as much as I was getting as a PhD student. And that tends to throw you off. You don't want to miss out on it. Now you have the fear of loss. You forget your value. You forget that other people who have been given offer for that job have likely been offered more because they're not PhDs, right? As a PhD, you do have a disadvantage in that they know that you're getting paid very little in academia. So if it's your first industry job, they're probably going to try to lowball you, which means give you a lower offer than they normally would out of the gate. So how can you counteract that lowball offer? What do? The first question that you ask right away, and this is a question that I completely forgot to ask after getting my first 2 job offers. What I did during the first job offer that I got is I just accepted it, right? I was so excited about it that I just accepted it right away. I was so afraid they were going to take it away from me that I didn't negotiate. I didn't act professionally. And as a result, they almost did take it away. I was so eager to accept it that I said yes right away in the email, and then they said they had to check on a couple of things. That's actually what they said. This made me very nervous, and I didn't understand. I accepted it right away. I didn't negotiate. I didn't know what I did wrong. Luckily, they came back and they gave me the job, but I missed out on all of the benefits, the increased salary that I could have had if I would have known what to ask after getting that job offer that showed that A, I was a professional, B, I knew my value, and C, it would have, again, counteracted their lower offer, and they did give me a lower offer because I was a PhD. The second job offer I received, I said, okay, this time I'm going to actually negotiate. I got the job offer. I showed my excitement. I was actually on a video call and I was super excited. I was like, oh, wow, thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful. This is incredible. I actually said it was a lot more than I expected to be offered at the beginning. And then I said, I'm going to go home and review it. This was the best practices that I learned. It's called appealing to a higher authority. I said, I'm going to go home and review it. And then I came back and I tried to negotiate for more, but I didn't have a leg to stand on. They said, no, sorry, that's the highest we can offer. And they basically saw how excited I was, and because of that, didn't fear me walking away, right? Which, if you're not willing to walk away, if they already know you're so excited that there's no chance of you walking away, you're not negotiating, you're begging. All right, so what I should have done instead is ask these 2 questions. What are the questions? And we've seen these questions over and over again in our association result in a salary increase of 10% or more just by asking them. This is the truth. Our association has over 7,000 PhDs. This is part of the methodology we teach them. When you get that first number, it has to be on a contract, a piece of paper, an agreement. If it's not on paper, never ask this question, never start negotiating on your end. Wait till you actually have an offer on paper. Once you do, take a look at the numbers and say, I really appreciate this. The numbers don't look quite right. Is there anything more you can do in terms of salary? Okay, write that down. Is there anything more you can do in terms of salary? That's the question you want to ask. Very often, much more often than you might think, the hiring manager or recruiter will say, let me see, and they'll go talk to whoever the person in charge is, or they'll pretend to talk to somebody else. This, again, is called the appealing to a higher authority technique. They'll go talk to the CEO or the CFO. They'll come back and say, we can increase it by $5,000 or $10,000. For PhD salaries, that's what we see the most, $5,000 increase, $10,000 increase, which tends to be about a 10% increase of the initial offer for most of our PhDs, okay? That's amazing. Without having to negotiate, without having to give a number on your end, you just got them to increase the salary. Now you can come back with a counteroffer, okay? Worst case, they say, no, we can't, and then you ask the second question. What's the second question? Okay, I appreciate it. Is there anything more you can do instead of salary? Now, this is where very often they'll come back to you and say, well, we could do a signing bonus of $20,000. Now, some of you are probably like, $20,000, a 5-figure signing bonus? Are you crazy? That is very common in industry for PhDs. Or they'll come back and say, we can increase your benefits, or we can cover your moving expenses. They'll usually add something. And again, it's something for free, just for asking a question before you even come back with a counteroffer on paper on your own. Okay, so ask these 2 questions. They should be the first questions you ask, the first strategy you apply after getting a written offer. Okay, if you want to learn more about negotiation, if you want to get invited to our negotiation webinars, which are free, go to phdsgethired.com. It's just an easy way to remember it. It'll actually route you to one of our Cheeky Scientist Association waitlist pages. By putting your name and email in there, we'll send you all of our free materials about transitioning into industry, just so you know what your options are. Okay, so go to phdsgethired.com now. And as always, remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.